Alright, we're going to finish up now. Y'all just now joining me. I'm studying TV production. I've studied, let me show y'all this. I bought this book years ago and read the whole thing. It's on lighting and TV production, everything about it. And it's really old school now, but it's still, TV production is still the same concept. And now I'm studying it again on a online class. So that's what I'm doing right now, because I plan on putting my show back on in 2020. So y'all be looking for it. So I'm studying right here. I'm in probably module 3. I'm on the first overlook of module 3, and it's a big long one. It's gonna take me months to get through this. Although people may want to believe they are being completely logical in evaluating a program, their underlying emotional reaction influences their evaluation. Even a logical, educational presentation evokes, for better or worse, an emotional response. This is a key concept which Benjamin Franklin, a noted persuader, put it this way: if you would persuade, you must appeal to interest rather than intellect. What? What types of production content are most apt to engage our interest and affect us emotionally? First, we have an interest in other people, especially vicarious, experiencing the experiences of other people. We're interested in people who lead interesting, romantic, dangerous, wretched, or engrossingly spiritual lives. Part of this involves gaining new insights and being exposed to new points of view. I need to come back to this right here, because this right here part is interesting. Hello. If y'all hear a humming, that's my fan right over you here. I got to have my fan. Part of this involves gaining new insights and being exposed to new points of view. This includes learning new things. Here's something else to keep in mind. As an example, a number of years ago, a small East Coast TV station did an expose on a local police chief. An undercover reporter, one of my former students, put a camera in a lunchbox and filmed the police chief clearly taking a bribe. When the segment was broadcast, there was negative reaction against the TV station. It seems the police chief was popular with many influential people, and having the truth presented in this way challenged their commitment to him. This reaction on the part of many viewers was justified by cries of entrapment, liberal media bias against a law and order official, etc. This wasn't the first time a messenger was blamed for the message. The same negative anti-media reaction took place when former U.S. President Richard Nixon was forced to resign from office for engaging in illegal activities while in the White House. To see how this came out, rent the Academy Award-winning feature-length film, All the President's Men. This film represents an important piece of U.S. history presented in a dramatic way. It also illustrates how two tenacious reporters faced down major high-level opposition to expose wrongdoing. Ta-da. Eventually, this U.S. president had to resign. The reporters involved kept the identity of Deep Throat, the inside former involved, secret for several decades. If a democracy is to be successful, the news media have a social responsibility to bring truth to light, even if that truth is unpopular. Audiences also like to hear about things that are new and that generate excitement. This is why mystery, sex, fear, violence, and horror do so well in the box office. Mystery, sex, fear, violence, and horror. It also explains why we see so many car chases, explosions, and general instances of mayhem in our films and TV programs. Such things stir up adrenaline and involve us emotionally. In short, they hold our attention. The truth. This, of course, brings up the possibility of exploitation, presenting things that appeal to elements of human nature that aren't the most positive, appealing to prejudices, fears, or even concealed hate are examples. Sometimes a rather blurry line exists between honesty, presenting ideas and stories, and unduly emphasizing elements such as sex and violence just for the sake of grabbing and holding an audience. Raymond. Beyond a certain point, audiences will sense they're being exploited and manipulated and resent it. And keep in mind, the content of a production, good or bad, tends to rub off on a reputation of those who produce it, and even the sponsors who support it. With the general background out of the way, we can now turn to the production sequence. But first, here's some required reading for this section. I'm doing some required reading. I have to go to another page to do this. It was in the blue square. It was in the blue, and you have to click on it, and it gives you a whole bunch more stuff. A democracy can't survive without a free flow of information. Some people say that the media and the arts have so much freedom that the range of ideas presented by the media, which primarily means broadcast television, should be more tightly controlled. I do. Given the present climate, we need to remind ourselves that the success of a democratic society is based on an informed electorate, and the only way to have an informed electorate is to allow a free flow of information. A nation that is afraid to let its people judge the truth and falsehood of ideas in an open market is a nation that is afraid of its people. Although we all learn about such things as civics classes about the values and easy to get, especially when inflammatory idea against some cases at point, but absurd headlines and stories regularly appearing in tabloids. Two-headed woman marries two men. A two-headed woman marries two men. Did I just say that? Some of the U.S. TV programs that have pushed tabloid journalism to new heights. Of course, the photos, films, videotapes, and artwork that have been branded by some as pornographic. Censorship for the sake of our values. These and other things abuse free speech have been enough to make many people cry for some type of control of the media, some type of censorship, and that's exactly what's been happening. According to the USA Today, overt moves to censor books take place in about 20% of U.S. schools each year, with unreported efforts far exceeding this. Things that have been censored in the United States include Shakespeare's plays, such as classic books as The Red Badge of Courage, Mr. Roberts, Catcher of the Rye, The Great Gatsby, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, To Kill a Mockingbird, Lord of the Flies, 1984, Go Ask Alice, Of Mice and Men, the Tarzan books, and the Harry Potter books. That hadn't been censored. What are they talking about? The Harry Potter books are both occurring on thousands of young people to reading have been banned by some conservative religious groups that feel that they are associated with witchcraft. In fact, Potter books were the most censored books in 2002. Okay, back. Y'all want to take the test here? I made 100 on the last two. We'll try it. Here we go. Viewers like content that emotionally supports their views. Most censored U.S. book in 2002, Harry Potter, I just read that. Murdered millions, but won popular approval in its country by cleaning up moral corruption. I don't know, I just guessed on that. Target audience. An audience basically reacts to a TV show emotionally. One of the responsibilities of free media is to I made a 71. I made a C. I didn't go quick enough. They have a time limit on this. Okay. Module 4. It's 3:35. Anybody watching this, you're on my website. After this broadcast here, you can go click on watch my TV show. The last one is right before Mother's Day in May. And click on it. Look at some of the pictures, the gallery, the links. That's cool links. You can look at all the talent that I've taped, and that probably ain't all, but that's all I could think of at the time. Let's think big, as in a big production. Following are 15 basic steps requiring for an elaborate TV production. Once you get a feel for the entire process, you can scale things down for any size production. Identify the purpose of the production. Yeah. making a title here. There you go. Identify the purpose of the production. This is the most important step. Clearly identify the production's goals and purposes. My goals and purposes is probably to showcase Alabama talent and to make the public understand what everyday musicians goes through, to bring their entertainment to y'all. A lot of people don't understand what they go through. The practice times, the loading and unloading, the unloading and loading again at the gig. They be loading back up. The drives. They love it though. This is okay. If there is no clear agreement on the goals and purposes of production, it will be impossible to evaluate its success. How will you know if you've arrived at your destination if you didn't know where you were going in the first place? Is the purpose to instruct, basically, inform, or entertain? All three of those things. Instruct, inform, and entertain. All three of those things is my show. Or maybe to generate feelings of pride or express a social, religious, or political need. Is the real purpose to create a desire in the audience to take some action? The goal of commercial broadcasting is an economic one, or to hold the interest of the audience through an exposure to the commercials. Most productions have more than one goal. We'll elaborate on some of these later. Analyze your target audience. Next, identify and analyze your target audience based on such things as age, sex, social economy, status, and educational level. Program content preferences will differ. These preferences are also different in various religions of the United States, north, south, urban, rural. As we've noted, we refer to an audience characteristics as demographics. We can see religious demographic variations in part of the differences in local programming in various areas of the country, and sometimes by the films and network programming that local stations decide not to air. Wow. Just wow. One of the first jobs the author has was to edit out the sexual segments in feature films that the station management thought the local, largely conservative audience would object to. These segments were put back in before the films were sent on to stations in other parts of the country. Check out similar productions. Check out similar productions from the past. If you're going to make mistakes, at least make new ones. Ask yourself some questions. How will your proposed production differ from various successful and unsuccessful efforts by others? Why did they work? Or maybe more importantly, why didn't they? Of course, as production styles change rapidly, you need to take into consideration differences in time, locations, and audiences. This link is in blue. Probably the highest stakes game in the world of color program, $100 million are won and lost each other. The players are primarily the New York executives who decide the program should. Oh, that's big. That's big audiences. We'll take you to more information on the success or failure of TV programs. Determine the basic value of your production. Next, determine the overall value of the production to a sponsor or underwriter. Obviously, underwriters and advertisers want something in return for their investment. For this, you'll need to ask yourself some questions. First, what is the probable size of the audience? In determining this, you must know if your show will be one-shot presentation or if you can recoup production expenses over time by presenting the show to other audiences. Generally, the larger the potential audience, the more marketable a production will be on an underwriting or advertising. At the same time, simple numbers don't tell the full story. All y'all don't know, I'm planning on putting my show back on Channel 80 in May of 2020. So I've done this before. I didn't do it all, but you know, I've got a book that thick I showed y'all at the beginning that I've actually read all the way through. It's on the lighting and audio, everything about TV production. This is online, so I'm going through this. It's more in-depth, actually, than that. I think it is, anyway. So I'm doing this, and it has tests and everything, so the test makes my mind work a little bit harder. Let's say an advertiser had a product designed for young people. Athletic shoes or designer jeans. In this case, a production that draws a large percentage of this age group will be more valuable than a production that has a larger overall audience, but a lower percentage of young people. Broadcasters have canceled many TV series not because they had a small audience, but because they had the wrong audience, the wrong demographics. You'll always want to balance the potential value of a production to an advertiser or underwriter with the projected cost of producing and presenting the production. If the costs exceed the benefits, you have a problem. I think that's been my problem, really. But actually, my show is for music lovers, Alabama lovers, and it's probably basically from 30 and up, not for teens, but it's basically, I'd say 30 and up. So that's basically where my show is. 30 and down probably don't watch my show. So who's my sponsors? 1, 2, 3. So I've got the right 3 sponsors right now. I've got the right 3 sponsors. So that's who I need the sponsors I need to target when I go back out. In commercial television, the return on investment is generally the form of increased sales and profits, but it may take other forms, such as an expected moral, political, spiritual, or public relations benefit derived from the program. Develop a treatment or production proposal. This is pitching your show to a bigger market, really. And I don't have to do that with Channel 80. I just go by airtime. So this really don't apply to me, but I'm going to read it too. All I have to do is get the sponsors and go by the airtime. That hurts. I don't know what that is, but it hurts. Next, put it down on paper. You'll recall that earlier we talked about treatments and program proposals, written summaries of what you propose to do. After the program proposal or treatment is approved, the next step is to write and submit a full script. You know, think about when I write a script, I swore I seen a spider or something. I get it done and everything, and then I read it, and I think, I should have put something else on. I should have put this on and forgot. It will be at this point that any remaining research on the content will be commissioned. For example, if the script calls for someone watching TV in the 60s, period piece, a production that takes place during an earlier area or period, you should check on the television shows broadcast at that time. The first version of a script is normally followed by numerous revisions. What I just said. Throughout the rewriting process, a number of story conferences or script conferences typically take place. During these sessions, audience appeal, pace, and problems with special interest groups, etc. are discussed. If it is an institutional production, you'll review the production's goals and pose questions about the most effective ways to present ideas. If the director is on board at this time, he or she should be part of these conferences. Finally, a script version emerges that is, we can hope, acceptable to everyone. Even this version, however, may not be final. In some instances, revisions continue right up to the time the scenes are shot. Typically, in a dramatic film production, each new script version is issued on a different color paper so that the cast and crew won't confuse them with earlier visions. Depending on the productions, you may want to develop a storyboard. I've actually got some storyboard templates. A storyboard consists of drawings of key scenes with corresponding notes or elements such as dialogue, sound effects, and music. Note the simple hand draw storyboard here that shows the audio which will correspond to specific scenes. More commonly, software programs have created storyboards. Develop a production schedule. Next, draw up a tentative schedule. Generally, broadcast or distribution deadlines will dictate the production schedule. The written timetable listed the time allotted for each production step. This stuff is hard. Hard. Alabama, y'all. This will also show up when the various production elements will need to be ready. Not planning things out carefully might cause you to miss a critical deadline, possibly even rendering the production useless. Selective key production personnel. Bring on board the remaining above-the-line production personnel. In addition to the producer and writer, above-the-line personnel include the production manager, director, and the general key creative team members. Below the personnel general assigned later include the technical staff. Wow. Decide on locations. If you're not shooting in the studio, decide on key locations. You know, I had a really good script that I wrote when I went to Muscle Shows. It was really good. I mean, I had the whole show. I knew what to shoot there because I already had it wrote out. It was already up here, where I was going, who I was going to interview, the whole thing. Now, that was a good script. If you're shooting in a studio, decide on key locations. In a major production, such as the type we are outlining in the discussion, you will hire a location scout, location manager. No, we don't do that. Although it might be easier to shoot in a TV studio, it's been shown that audience like the authenticity of real locations, especially in dramatic productions. Most major cities in film production maintain film commissions that supply photos and videotapes of interesting shooting locations in their area. They'll also provide information, use of film, names of people to contact. Decide on column, wardrobe. We don't make that. Not for me. Let's say catering. Catering. It's a big productions here. I don't need none of this. Obtain permits, insurance, and clearances. Let me read this because that might. In major U.S. cities and in many foreign countries, it's possible just to go on location, set up your equipment, and start filming. Although film will probably not be used, this is another of those terms continues after a later meeting has passed into history. Except for spot news and short documentary segments for major productions, you must arrange and access permits, licenses, security bonds, and insurance policies. Many semi-public and tourist hotels, such as shopping malls, require filming permits. Yes, these things do get complicated. Liability insurance and security bonds may be necessary because accidents can happen directly and indirectly attributed to production, someone tripping over a cable, whatever. In some locations, I can understand that. Are you beginning to see why a list of credits in the films and TV programs is so long? Do you? Well, do you? Select video inserts, still photos, and graphics. I've done that. This stuff is Y'all don't, this tells just a little part about what I go through with this little small production I have, 30-minute show. This is, of course, a bigger production, and a lot of this I don't need because I'm the cameraman, I'm the host, I'm the producer, I'm the editor, I'm the director. My son is the technical support. Arrange to shoot or acquire video and film inserts, still photos, and graphics. To reduce production costs, you will want to check out existing stock footage in film and video libraries around the country. This is generally background footage, such as general exterior scenes of an area that can be edited into the production. Stock footage. I think I've got that on one of my posted. What's it called? Stock footage. Right there. Stock footage. Free stock video footage. That one too. They're about faded away. Can't hardly read them. This got a bunch of places right there. .net.com. That's got a bunch of places you can get it. This is generally background footage such as general exterior. Okay. One example of a stock footage source is iStock. I think I've got that on there. iStock. Yeah, right there. iStock.com. In Hollywood, California, as we mentioned in Module 1, we have no control over the content, these external links, and they should in no way be considered endorsements. If suitable footage is not available or does not meet the needs of the production, it's in blue. I got to read it and see what it says. Okay. To hire a second unit to produce needed segments. Second unit work in production done away from the main location by a separate production crew and generally does not involve the principal talent. As an example, the TV series Charmed, which ran for 7 years, was about 3 good witches. It supposedly took place in San Francisco. However, the actors and primary production facilities were in Los Angeles, so the San Francisco city scenes were shot by a second unit in San Francisco and then edited into the rest of the production. Editing made it possible to smoothly wave together scenes that were filmed 400 miles apart. To make it more challenging, the San Francisco house exterior features episode where an old house located in a section of Los Angeles, while the supported interiors of the same house were filmed in a studio miles away. Begin rehearsals and shooting. Start rehearsals depending on the type of production. Production shot live on tape. We don't do live. I mean, I do it here sometimes for my website. I shoot live, but when it's on TV, it's taped. Begin editing phase. After shooting is completed, the producer, director, and video recording editor review the footage and start to make editing decisions. I do that right after I shoot it. I look at all the stuff and determine if I need to reshoot. Although the distinction has become blurred with the latest digital advances, editing has been done in 2 distinct phases, online and offline. Offline editing generally uses a low-resolution copy of the general page. It contains timecode number of super points in original footage. Thus, when this is edited, prior and post-production phases, the original footage is not altered. In online editing, the original footage is used to make final edited versions of the production. Since the latter is much faster, it is preferred for news work. Wow. Man. I'm glad I've got just a low brand TV show. Because editing is so important to the creative process, we're going to devote several later chapters to the subject. And all these terms and procedures sound a bit intimidating right now. Don't worry, we'll explain them in more detail later. Speaking of ratings, those numbers often spell the life and death of people. You can check our understanding of these. In this next module, we'll turn our attention to that important blueprint for the entire TV production, the script. I'll try to do this quiz, but I don't know about this one. Drawings of key scenes. Storyboard. Editing using a copy of original footage. Percentage of household watching from total number of sets turned on. Rating. Editing using the original footage. Includes corporate and educational video production. It's got a, this has got a time. Man, I can't even read that fast, much less do the test. It's got like a real quick time limit, and they've got a bunch of questions on here. You have to look at it and then look at the, I guess I want you to look at it afterwards. That was tough. You can see how long it took me after the time went off. This time is way too quick for anybody to take his test. I know it is for me. Return. Oh, okay. I'm gonna stop it right there, y'all. Where am I? What was this? 4, I believe. Yeah, module 4. So next time we'll go module 5. You know, they have YouTube videos on this also. And I've got some of them on here: TV and film study, TV production, one camera interview, film production. The rest of it's probably Photoshop stuff that I've got on here. And it's just like these post-its. If I find something that I think's interesting, I make a shortcut for it and put it as tutorials I make. But as you can see, TV production, this is pretty much a big TV production of several people. I do this all on my own. I'm the producer, the editor, the director, and the host. I am the founder of this show, and I do it all myself most of the time. I've got let me turn this around. I've got my other, you can see my green screen right there, which probably needs to be redone. You can see my other computer right there. And stuff. And I appreciate y'all watching this. And check out all other up above me here, the other tabs and all. And probably February, March, even into April, I'll be out getting up sponsors and everything, and I've just learned that I've learned something new every time I read stuff like this, is I've got to capture the audience or the sponsors that would benefit from my TV show, and not everybody would do that. I would say my TV show relates to people 30 and above. 30 and below probably wouldn't relate to this show and don't really care about, you know, what musicians goes through. They want to hear music and everything, but relate. So I have to market the sponsors that would benefit from my TV show. So I got to start doing that. My son's drums there, they're pretty blue. Pretty blue. Needs heads. It's got cheap heads on it, so it needs some good heads on it. And this shows how to do a storyboard, how to write a script. I think actually that next module has got to do with script writing. And they probably going to do it a little different than I do it. And I showed y'all this a while ago. This is how I do my script writing right there. There we go. Y'all can see a line right there that I draw across there, and everything up above it is actually what I'm going to have on the show. And then I start writing the script of how I want it to be on my show. And I've got check marks. Check marks is the music that I'm going to have on the show. The X's is the sponsors, where I can put them in the right order and everything. So that's the way I do my script writing. It's just simple for me, and I could do it. I could probably do it on here on the computer and print it out and everything, and I should probably start doing that and print it out, and it'd be more professional looking. But who cares? You know, this is my home studio and everything, so I don't have to make it be elaborate or anything. but there's a lot of thinking. You don't want each show to be the same and look the same and everything, which it probably is because I have the same stuff. And sometimes I won't put a video of the week on or a picture of the week. Sometimes I may put something different on. Interviews, or I used to have a thing that had the format of my TV show, but I don't have it anymore. But look at the advertisement tab up there, and it's got me talking and telling you a little bit about it, but you'd have to call me for me to help you out and everything, and I can help your business, I guarantee you. Which you get a 30-second commercial, but this is my show. So like I tell everybody, I can, if you have a new band like Midnight Special, I can advertise what band's going to be there every week. Lee's Restaurant has shows up there with gospel groups. I can name them gospel groups and the rest of them. Pawn Shop over here, he has different seasons and stuff. In springtime, I can advertise weed eaters, lawnmowers, stuff like that. Hunting season, he got shotguns, and handguns, and crossbows, and everything. So, you know, you don't only get the 30-second commercial. All I have to do is, you know, say it real quick and let it be done. I can help you out. I can help you out, I guarantee you. But I will be getting out probably the end of February, March, big time in March, and the first part of April. After that, the show goes on the first week of May. It'll be on 6 months. And if you stay with me for those 6 months, these advertisers, I will keep, because my show will keep going on this website that you're on right now. You'll see up there it says TV show. I still do the TV show. I will put it, you'll see on the sides, I've got some of my sponsors on the side there. And if you stay with me, I'll put yours on there. And every time I make a show, I still put the your commercial on my TV show, which people watches. And I don't only put it on here, I post it on my 5,000 friend on the Facebook, and I've got 2 or 3 Facebook. Plus people watches it all the time. I send it in a message, and so people see it. I guarantee you, I have people talking to me all the time that I don't know who they are. And when I get through, I say, "How do you know me?" They said, "Oh, I watch your show all the time." You know, and I reckon they think they know me because they watch my show. But that's cool. That's cool, man. I love it. It just shows me that people watches the show. It's a good show. And all the advertisers should know that. And I work the show. You know, I don't just put it out there and don't try to do nothing with my sponsors or anything. You know, I work the sponsors. You know, for instance, if I go to Montgomery to tape a band or anything, I print up flyers, and 2 or 3 times on my trip, I stop and go into these 7-Eleven stores or service stations, and I put a flyer up. It shows the times and days and everything. You can see the show and even the websites. You don't even have to have Charter Cable Channel 80. They have a website called AlabamaCableNetwork.com. They live stream Channel 80, so you don't actually have to have Charter Cable or Spectrum or what it's called. So you don't have to have Spectrum. And it probably goes, you know, if you're on Spectrum, it goes probably 3/4 of Alabama. It even goes into Fort Benning, Georgia. Just Fort Benning, Georgia now. My cousins in California watches the show on that website. Plus you've got this website, which I posted right there. So there's plenty of ways you can see the show and your advertisers. your commercials. So I work the show. I don't just go out and tape bands and stuff. I try to help the sponsors. And all you got to do is call me and say, hey, we got a new bed for sale, and if you're like a Sides TV sponsors me, and a lot of times they had a recliner that was shaped like Alabama and Auburn, or they had a hunting one that was like camouflage. I can mention that, try to sell it for you, because that's, I'm working for you, the sponsors, and it's easy to sponsor. I ain't gonna tell you no prices on here. You have to call me, because there's several different ways you can do it. Thing went off. There we go. So I would have to talk to you personally to tell you how to do it and everything. And there's several different ways, and you'll like it. Alright, I'm getting out of here, y'all. Appreciate y'all watching. And like I always say, keep making music, Alabama.